Okay, so what we're looking at today, this isn't just a resume. You've got to think of it more like a professional artifact, right? It's a document that maps out over 23 years of career evolution. So for this explainer, we're going to treat it like an architectural blueprint. We're going to deconstruct a career that was clearly built with some incredible intention.
So that begs the question, what does the blueprint for a career that spans more than 2 decades actually look like? What secrets can we find if we really study its design? And more importantly, what can we take away for our own professional lives?
All right, let's unroll this thing. The goal here is simple. We're going to break it down piece by piece and try to find the core principles, the strategies that gave it such a rock-solid foundation. First up, we're going to look at the anatomy of this expert profile. We're literally breaking this career down to its fundamental building blocks to understand how it was constructed, right from the ground up.
And this really gets to the heart of it. The key takeaway is that a career like this just doesn't happen by accident. It was built with clear intention. It's a series of strategic choices, stacked one on top of the other, year after year. So, let's talk about the first pillar of this whole structure. It's the foundation, the sheer breadth of experience. And this is all about building a really wide, stable base before you start building up.
Now, this visualizes what true cross-functional expertise looks like. We are not looking at someone who only knows one thing. You can see experience spanning banking, telecom, and manufacturing, and that's combined with skills in HR, finance, and operations. This creates what people call a T-shaped professional. Broad knowledge across a ton of areas, but with really deep expertise in a few key ones.
But, and this is important, this breadth doesn't come from just job hopping. The experience is clearly anchored by deep, long-term commitments. Just look at that nearly 15-year tenure at one company. That's the stability and depth that makes all that wide-ranging exposure so much more valuable.
Okay, so building on that wide foundation is our second pillar, depth. See, it's not enough to just build wide. You also have to build tall. This is all about having a clear, upward story of leadership and growth. This timeline, wow, it tells such a powerful story. It kicks off with a process executive role back in 2004, and then it just shows this methodical, year-over-year climb into roles with more and more responsibility, eventually getting to a senior director position. It's a perfect picture of a consistent, upward trajectory.
What's so cool is how this specific journey actually reveals a universal pattern. It starts with foundational roles to learn the business. Then you move into specialist roles to build that deep expertise. And only then do you transition into management and finally into strategic leadership. I mean, this is a path that pretty much any professional can recognize or maybe even aim for.
And now for the third pillar. And this is the one that keeps the entire structure from becoming, obsolete in our crazy fast-changing world. A relentless commitment to learning. Just look at this number. This profile lists over 80 professional certifications. And no, that's not a typo. 80. It's just a staggering, almost unbelievable commitment to continuous education.
But of course, this brings up a really important question. Is this just about collecting badges for your LinkedIn profile, or is there a deeper strategy at play here?
And the answer is pretty clear, because this learning is anything but random. The certifications are all strategically clustered. You see mastery in project management with things like PMP and SAFE, deep domain knowledge in banking and insurance, and crucially, modern tech skills like cloud and AI. And then it's all rounded out with those essential human skills in coaching and psychology.
So what this really reveals is a powerful 2-track approach to learning. On one side, you've got the academic degrees, like an MBA, and that provides the deep theoretical bedrock. But then on the other side, you have these agile, industry-specific certifications that apply that knowledge directly to the tools and technologies people are using today.
Okay, so after deconstructing all the pieces, what does the complete blueprint actually look like? And what can we take away from it for our own careers? The whole architecture is built on 3 main pillars. First, a wide foundation of diverse experience. Second, a tall structure defined by a clear path of leadership growth. And then holding it all together is constant renovation, and that's driven by that relentless commitment to learning. But here's the most important insight. The real secret sauce. These pillars don't stand alone. They're all interconnected. The breadth provides the context for leadership. The constant learning keeps that leadership relevant. And together, they create a career that isn't just successful, but is also resilient and, frankly, future-proof. So as we wrap up this deconstruction, it really leaves us with one final reflective question for ourselves. When you look at your own career, what's the next block you need to add to your professional blueprint?